Hey there. Welcome to another episode of Heart and Hustle, Visionary Healers, Movers, and Shakers. I am your host, Paueltte Rees-Denis, here to bring you magic makers from around the globe, people who are creating change, who have small businesses, large businesses, hobbies, but they are creating the life of their dreams. And that, my friends, is what living is all about. So let us know how you like this episode. Please subscribe, and we'll see you there. Thanks for joining. Right. Welcome, my friends, to another episode of Heart and Hustle, where we are movers, shakers, healers, artists, creatives, making change in the world, creating the life of our dreams, as well as bringing beautiful gifts, services, creations to other parts of the world, right? Which is so good and so juicy and so necessary. And as we share our voices and our ideas and our visions, I love bringing you, my friends, people who I get to meet as well, sometimes for the first time, like today. People who are doing their thing, doing their thing. And that's so important that we continue to do our thing and not be shut down, right? So welcome today. Deborah Zucker is here with us. And she's up in Bellingham, Washington, which I used to live up in the Pacific Northwest. And I got one of my dogs from Bellingham, Washington, and her name was Bella. So, little side note there. Anyway, welcome, Deborah. Good to see you.
Thanks so much, Paula. It's wonderful to be here.
Yeah, so you are doing great things. I love all the stuff that I've learned about you. So, but why
Mhm.
don't you tell us a little bit about what's happening for you and what you're doing?
Yeah, I love the introduction that you just gave because it just feels, yeah, it just feels so in alignment with what I feel like my work is as well. Um, yeah, I'm a healer, naturopathic physician, a counselor, a coach, and an author. And I have been bringing forth my gifts, as a translation of my own healing journey
Mm.
in support of other people's healing journeys. So it very much is about, one of the key principles that I teach is aligning with your yes, which just got inspired with what you were just saying because yeah, it just feels like a big missing piece in
Oh,
the conversation around self-care and around health and well-being. If we are not aligned with what brings us uniquely alive, if we're not investing our life energy where we get returns, then our vitality is going to spin down.
how do you think we lost that? I mean, it didn't used to be that way, I don't believe, way back when. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation.
I mean, it's a big question because, yeah, I really think of there's these basic life skills that we're not being taught, that aren't being modeled for us. And I consider them basic life skills because it's really about how to tend to our own well-being, how to receive the feedback that we're getting all the time.
And knowing that, I mean, if you think about, in ancient cultures, everyone in the circle had a role.
Hmm.
There were the healers, there were all the different things. And then how did that get mislaid? But how did you get to where you're what you're doing? We need to talk about you.
Yeah, well, I mean, my journey began in my early 20s, when seemingly out of nowhere, I spiraled down into a deep chronic fatigue and depression and a lot of other symptoms. And, I was in the time of my life where I was sort of like the go-getter, like I'm here to come into my adulthood. And I had this whole path and idea of what my life was going to be. And then this happened, and it was like my life had to come to a standstill. And as a result, a deep healing journey began. And with that, the discernment to actually learn what's really going on inside, not just the physical symptoms, but what's happening emotionally and mentally and spiritually.
Yes.
how do I really get to know myself on a deep level so that I can actually choose to align my life in a way that supports my well-being? And so that led me to a calling. I just found everything I was learning about myself, I was wanting to share with others, and that led me to study naturopathic medicine and then later mental health counseling and coaching.
Wow.
And
Okay. So that's like years of study.
yeah, many years of study. And yeah, and with that, continuing my own healing journey alongside that. So yeah, so kind of walking the path as I was learning, from the formal education and discovering that it felt like there were things missing. Like I said, it's like, okay, like what is actually supporting me and feeling more alive and vital? And sometimes it wasn't what, the doctors were talking about or what I was learning in school. It was about kind of a deeper foundation of my relationship with being alive and in a body, like
Yeah.
not taking it for granted.
And I think that's so beautiful and so important because how can you share,
Mm.
your healing methods and whatever without some background?
Right.
I mean, some medical doctors are, this is a big general statement, but they like, oh, I've learned about that and I've learned about that and you should do this. It's like, yeah, but you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Has life brought you to your knees? Have
Yeah.
you really, really lived it? And yeah, and some of us, have the privilege and capacity, to be able to translate that directly, like what we're living into how we're supporting and serving others. And yeah, I really feel the honor of that. And also just like the humility of, yep, I'm just human here too. I'm walking the path too. And and I too have had to learn these skills, and I may just be a bit further along because of how my journey's been. And now I'm here, offering support to
Yeah.
others.
And I've learned that so many times in all the coaching seminars and everything. It's like you just need to be a couple steps ahead
Hmm. Yeah.
because you're learning, experiencing it too. And how did you come out of it? What are the tools that have made a difference for you?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what we share.
That's what we share.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it took me years to distill down what I share in my book, The Vitality Map, these 9 keys that,
Okay, wait a minute. Hold on.
yeah.
Your book. You got a
Yeah.
book. Can you show us the cover? You have it right
Yeah. Let me see. Do I have a book here? Oh, here's, Um, so this is actually it's the old cover. I've updated the cover, but this is the Vitality Map. Um, and I actually have a companion book coming out next month, the Vitality Journal, which is translates the 9 keys that are in this book into an experiential, personalized journey with prompts and practices that you can just dive right into.
So tell us about your book a little bit. When did that come out
Yeah.
originally?
This originally came out in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has 9 keys in it that, maybe I'll just briefly name them just to give a
Okay, yeah.
little sense of the overview. So key number one is honoring your unique life. So that's the one that I was saying. It's really about like not taking it for granted, being in direct relationship with our mortality and rooting our self-care from that place. You know? The second key is facing and embracing your shadows. So that's acknowledging.
Oh,
I know, right? Totally.
really?
Yeah, that brought some stuff up. Yeah, so that's acknowledging, like Jung says, that we have these unconscious parts of ourselves that are running the show. And until we bring them into our consciousness and relate to them directly, we might just be continuing to self-sabotage and find ourselves in these avoidance patterns. So that's the gist of key number two. Three is strengthening your self-awareness muscles. So that's
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think all of us, right? It's like, how do we actually receive the feedback that's there and become aware of it so that we can be empowered by that? Four is cultivating resilience. So it's actually like making informed choices to help ourselves guide the unpredictable path that is life, right? It's like, we never know what's going to happen. The rug can get pulled out at any time. and to feel resilient in our capacity to bring ourselves back into
And that
alignment.
brings you into like self-trust and I won't stop your you keep going on your
Yeah, no, thank you though, but that's true. It does. And there's a lot to each of these keys. So I'm just
yeah,
giving the
yeah,
outline,
yeah.
but yeah, the key
Oh, we
number
could talk
five,
for about 5 days.
right? Key number five is what I was mentioning before, aligning with your yes. Key number six is experimenting with playful curiosity. So it's really like taking the seriousness out of our relationship with self-care, that sort of beating ourselves into submission and the heaviness of it, and instead like embracing, hey, I get to be playful and curious and learn as I go. Like there's no such thing as failure. I just learn as I go,
I
experiment.
love that so much. In fact, curiosity is like one of my favorite words. And
Yes.
to be a possibilitarian.
Ooh, I like that word.
Ah. See?
Wow.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's so important. I think we
Yeah.
lose that a lot, that sense of play.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna anchor in that word. That's just like my heart just opened as you said that. It just
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. Key number seven is discovering easeful discipline. So it's really shifting our whole orientation to discipline to take, just that strictness and that beating ourselves up and actually do the things it takes to create an easeful way of guiding ourselves through
oh
the
my God. I love
uncomfortable
that word
transitions.
so much.
Easeful.
Ah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
because to love what you're doing and to make it joyful and
Yes.
easy.
Yeah. To
Oh,
have our own backs in that way. Yeah. The eighth one is inviting support and connection. And this one is huge.
no.
Yeah. It's like this is foundational to the work I do. I bring people together, women in particular, in community, because we need each other. We're relational
Absolutely.
creatures. Like we
Community is
can't
so
do it
important
alone.
and knowing we're not alone. Yeah. Mm,
Yeah.
it's really big, really big.
Yeah. And then key nine is living like you matter. Yeah. Really owning like this is the only you there ever is. You matter. We all matter. And we don't need to continue and perpetuate this pattern. Particularly, I think it's very strong in us women where we, care for others and care for our world and care for our communities and we neglect ourselves. So rooting in, like we need to fill our own wells first so that we have the capacity to keep showing up.
And we hear that all the time. We hear it all the time. And how many of us do that?
Right.
So
Right.
good. I mean, you just can't continue to express and to share and to care if you're not caring for yourself.
Mhm. Right.
And it's
Yeah.
so, I mean, it's so simple. It's really not hard, except that we're like, oh, no, 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 not me. It's about you. It's like, no, 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 it's not about them. It's about you.
Yes. And it's one thing like to get it cognitively, because like you said, like we hear it all the time, but it's another thing to actually repattern ourselves at a deeper level to truly get it and live from that place.
I just actually wrote a blog post yesterday about all of that.
Mm, yes.
That was good. It's good. But those
Yeah.
are great. So where did those keys come up for you? Where did they come from?
Or they came from my own, like I was saying before, my own healing journey. And just watching like when were the times in my healing journey? Because I had chronic fatigue at various stages for years and just finding like when were the times that I felt more alive? When were the times that like I didn't need to do all the intense protocols that other people were recommending? Like what allowed for that feeling of resilience and empowerment? And so just over time, I began to distill like what are the different things that allowed for that? And again, it wasn't necessarily what I learned in school, but what these basic life skills. And so I began to distill them for myself, and then I began with my clients to articulate them, and I would teach workshops. And so over time, initially there were 12 of them, and then they got distilled down to nine. And I created an outline. for a speech that I was going to give. And then I realized, wait a sec, there's a book here.
Mhm.
And and as soon as I had that thought, it just, yeah, again, just another level of calling of like, okay, like I surrender to this. I need, yeah, to bring this out into the world. And
God, if we could only be taught that in school as we were growing up,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, that's basic human living.
Hmm. Right.
And somehow we bypassed all of that important, really heartfelt, soul felt, physical felt stuff.
Yeah. Like
Wow.
it's like, it's a relationship with ourself, right? Like having an intimate relationship with ourself. Like how do we actually live from that place of really getting like, hey, I'm the only one
Yeah.
that's here to be guiding and stewarding this unique body and being. No one else is here to do that, once we're adults and and to actually feel the honor of that and the privilege of it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like not as a burden or yeah, this weight that we carry,
Oh, as
but
an honor. And
yeah,
that's what we were saying earlier is like everyone, there's an important place for everyone in the circle. And when you come to that place, then you're able to give back to everyone in that circle, or in our community or in our civilization. That's a big picture right there. But
yeah.
so good. So what are you doing now?
Hmm. Yeah, well, now in addition to bringing this new book out into the world, I also I have a 9-month retreat-based program for women that I offer. It's starting up the end of May, and I have another online circle for women who are navigating perimenopause, menopause, midlife transition time. Just really seeing. Yeah, just the need for that mental, emotional, spiritual support for these big life transitions that women go through. And um,
And you know what I love about that? And this is what I see too, also as a coach,
mm,
is that women still won't invest in themselves.
mm, yeah, yes,
They won't do it.
yeah,
And we all need this. We all need a retreat space. We all need a circle. And I've been doing online circles and in-person circles here now where I live.
mm,
And it's small and it's growing, but why don't women join in?
right.
Why? What
Mm,
are they afraid of? Oh, it costs money. Oh, it takes time. Oh, I'm so busy.
mm,
I mean, there's a million excuses.
yeah. I mean, to me, it gets to what we've been speaking to. It's part of the healing. It's part of realizing, what it is to live like I matter. You know,
Yes.
when I live from that place, I invest in myself as a priority, not as a sort of, well, maybe someday when, yeah,
Yeah.
this, I'm not doing this anymore, or the money comes in for this, but just actually as a front and center priority. Like, I need to do this. I need to invest in myself in order to then be able to show up for everyone else and for all the things that I'm uniquely here to bring to the world, my gifts to shine in the world. I can't do it if I'm depleted. Yeah.
And every day is a gift.
Mm. Yes.
And I feel this more and more. I lost 3 friends last week, and
Uh,
it's just every day, and I want connection. I want inspiration. I want awesomeness.
yeah.
I want love. And I mean, what do you want? What do you want?
Yeah. Well, first, I just want to acknowledge I'm sorry for your loss.
Oh, thank you.
Like, yeah, yeah, and I'm just feeling, yeah, just how when that happens, when we're faced with the loss, it just really brings the fleetingness of life just right front and center. Yeah. And yeah, I want those things too. I want, I want to live a life that feels abundant and in flow and service and like yeah, like I come alive with all it is that I'm engaging in and for. And um yeah, and I just, these days I just feel like um I'm curious, your take on this too. Just a bit of like this dissonance almost, where like I can look at my close in life here and just feel so grateful for my family and my work and where I live and just the beauty of the day to day. And then I look further out in the world and there's just a lot of crazy things happening in our world right now. And just, a lot of people that are suffering and it's like holding the two, like allowing for the goodness of this inner sphere right now in my life, and then also um,
Here's my little doggy.
Hi, dog.
Sweetheart. She's my worker girl. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, but just feeling that, just how we can hold all of it. And that just comes up for me, with that question of what I want. I want to be able to be fed and nourished
Yeah,
and also have the capacity to show up for those in need.
yeah. So that's something that I see a lot these days because um, I think I'm probably a little bit older than you. How old are you?
I'm 50.
Okay, so I'm going to be 68 this year,
Uh-huh.
and I freaking love it, right? I love it. I love my life. But I do see people transitioning through retirement.
Hmm.
And I see people, younger people, still struggling with their work and with their place in life. And the idea of giving back sometimes gets lost. And even into retirement, it's like, what am I going to do now?
Mm-hmm.
And life isn't over, and you have a lot to offer. And I think that's another thing that part of our civilization doesn't, um, they don't honor the elders as much as they used to.
Hmm. Yes.
And oh my God, I don't know. I don't know. Again, I could just talk on and on about this, but uh, I think we each need to look at what we have to offer
Hmm.
and that it's not over,
Yeah.
and I just love that. I love that. Especially, I feel like I'm a super wise woman. I feel like I'm a matriarch,
Mm.
and I do. I lead lots of women's groups and predominantly women's groups, but um, I have so many stories and I love people's stories, right?
Mm.
I mean, even young people's stories. I love people's stories and they're all important.
Mm. Yeah.
I mean, your story is really important.
Mm. Yeah, I love just feeling, yeah, just your honoring of all the different stages
Yeah.
and just, we just keep evolving, but we keep, I so often think of the analogies of plants or trees, and just how it's like we just keep evolving. Like each stage, has its own expression and way of being. And we shine out into the world, in our unique way at any given point in life. And I speak to this in the Living Like You Matter key, but it's really about like, it doesn't matter what scale, it's not that each of us needs to be out there, fighting, the big fight in the world, global level. Like we can each show up to make our difference right here with the people right around us. So it's not about putting pressure on ourselves that, showing up or giving our gifts means a certain thing. It's really for each of us to discern that for ourselves where we feel like we're fully expressed and out there being us, unapologetically me. And yeah, I feel like I'm living into that each day.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
does that mean? Yeah.
And sharing all the things, all the downs, all the ups, all the possibilities, right?
Yeah.
To be a possibilitarian. See?
Love that.
So
Yeah.
good. So good. So, I mean, I have an idea, but what do you do for yourself?
Mm.
Not your work self, quote
Mhm.
unquote, but yourself. What do you do to
Yeah.
feed yourself like every day? Or do you have a ritual or,
Mm.
what feeds you?
Yeah. Well, the first thing that comes to that is nature. Just for me, time in nature just is so restorative. And I have a little one at home. She's 4.5.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah, on the days that I don't bring her to school, I head out into the woods like first thing in the morning. And I've come to call it my morning meeting walk.
Mm.
And I call it that because it's like just simply by walking in the woods and opening to being, in the beauty around me, it's like I open and I land and kind of come back to my whole self more fully. And then it's like sort of the lid gets taken off and all these like insights or ideas or nudges or sort of creativity flows through. I wrote both my books primarily through voice memo, like walking in the
Oh
woods.
my God, I love that.
Yeah, design my programs and yeah, just get sort of the next input into, whether it's work or just my life, just the next input into what wants to come. So it's just like, yeah,
I mean,
tap.
I mean, I'm totally with you. I do that every morning too. I walk with this little doggy,
Hmm.
and I mean, I get all the downloads, and because why? Because I'm allowing myself to be present.
Hmm. Yes.
I'm allowing myself to be outside.
Yes.
I mean, I would live outside if I could, you know, and just to breathe and just to, oh, what's next? What's next?
Yes.
Or what's happening right now? And I think so many people just don't. They don't even
Mhm.
stop. They don't even stop to think, breathe, listen,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Getting outside in nature. I mean, that is my one non-negotiable
Mhm.
every day. And
Yes.
with this little puppy dog down here, because she's my little angel. But uh, I couldn't start my day like that if I didn't do that.
Hmm. Yes.
Opens
It's
me up to all the possibilities, to the clarity, right?
yes. Yeah, and I think, you spoke to this a little bit too, just how vital the pause is in our lives these days. And for me, it's like the pause can also be, in movement in a walk, but it's just like choosing to have sort of that time out that doesn't have another agenda to it. That's simply about being and receiving and being present to, yeah, who and where and what and yeah, to the deeper essence,
And
of
that's about living a creative and abundant life.
yes.
So what are you working on? You're working on your second book?
Yeah, so that book it's on its final legs. It'll be out in about a month. Yeah, so kind of wrapping that up, but that's been a big creative project and
What's it called?
it's called the Vitality Journal.
Okay.
Yeah.
What goes with the first book, kind of. Yeah.
Companion book. Yep. Yeah, the same 9 keys. And yeah, that's the biggest thing. And then also just yeah, some new programs on the horizon. Yeah, for the fall and next year, which I'm not ready to talk about yet because they're still in formation. But yeah, just really, it's a time of up leveling for me in my business. I took a few years to sort of put business mostly on hold while I was a mama to my daughter in her first few years of life, and that felt totally right and good. And yeah, the last year and a half has been a reemergence and kind of discovering that new alignment with my work. And what's really front and center is what I was speaking to, just the passion of creating group spaces for women. Of virtual as well as in person. I still have my one-on-one practice as well, but I just to see what is catalyzed when we come together in group is really I just feel like our world needs it right now. We need it. And
Oh,
so it's like I
that's a
just
whole
want to
nother
create more and more of those
story.
spaces. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
That's a whole nother story.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so grateful for the work you're bringing and doing what you do. And just getting to meet you and have this conversation is just so juicy.
Yeah, thank you. I feel, yeah, the kindredness of,
Yeah.
yeah, just what really matters and our, yeah, just to
And
prioritize.
out of all of this, it's like what really matters is that we show up
Yeah.
and that we participate. And I see that lack of participation so much these days. It's like, no, just take that next step. Just come on, baby. Come on. Let's see you. Let's hear your voice. Let's show up. Let's be part of this life,
Mhm.
right?
Yes to that. Yes to that.
Mm.
Yeah, and to honor the courage and vulnerability that goes along with that. Like I definitely, yeah, feel that for myself, just the ongoing stretching, as I'm coming in, as I'm up leveling my business, as I'm coming into more of a comfort or at least a willingness to be seen and to have my voice be heard and my presence to get bigger in the world. And yeah.
Good. Awesome. Well, I'm so happy for the work that you're doing. I'm so happy you got to spend this time with me.
Me too. Yeah. Thank you for the invitation. Yeah.
And thank you, everybody in Heart Hustle Land, for another inspiring conversation. And I'd love to know what you think about all these things. And you can share with me, you can share with Deborah. And all her information, is always on my blog post. So you get that. And it's just so good. It's just so good to take some time to listen, to be inspired, to learn, to see new ways of thinking and learning and all your possibilities. So thank you for being here with me.
Mm.
Appreciate you so much. I appreciate all you out in Heart and Hustle Land. And until we meet again, any blessings.